This time we're going to teach our character to jump because it's not a platformer without it. So let's jump into it. We're going to go to Project, Scripts, and double click on Player Movement. So before we added player movement right, player movement left, this time we're going to add a couple spaces here, slash slash, and I'm going to call this jumping. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say if input dot, this time we're going to say get button down, and button are presets in Unity. We can edit them and program in our own if we'd like, but for now we're just going to use a preset one. So we have get button. We have three options. Get button is every frame that you're pressing it down. Get button down is going to be the first frame that you press it down, and get button up is going to be the first frame that you release it. So for get button, just get button, we might use that on something like when you hold down B for Mario, it increases his speed every frame it's down. Get button down would be for his jump function, which is what we're going to use here. And get button up might be if you have if you hold down for a charge attack and then you release the button to shoot it out. But again, for now we're going to use get button down, and I'm going to do parentheses, quotation mark, the word jump, capital letters. And this will always turn red because it's a string or a word that Unity reads. So be careful your capitalization is correct, because it won't throw an error saying you're wrong unless you make a mistake somewhere else. Now, if you don't want this to be, jump by default is set to spacebar on your keyboard, and I think button 2 on your Bluetooth gamepad. If you don't want this to be spacebar, you can always do get key down, parentheses, for example, J, or any other letter on the keyboard, and that will work, but that will no longer work on your gamepad. So what we could do here, we could do any of those keys, but we're going to do get button down. Get button down, parentheses, quotation, capital J, jump. Make sure to end with two parentheses. Every parenthesis has to have a closing parenthesis. Makes little sandwiches. And then we're going to do squiggly lines. Make sure these are the ones next to the P key. So if we press the button down, it's going to do this one time, right? So if we press jump, it's going to do it one time per press. So what we're going to do, we're going to say this dot get component. And remember up here we use the get component for the sprite render. This time we're going to access the rigid body 2D. And we're going to do something called add force. And add force is going to take two parameters, actually four, but it's going to take two parameters. It's going to take a vector 3. It's going to take the type of force and, the amount of force and the type of force. So we're going to say new vector 3. We need an x, y, and z. So when we jump, we don't, for the x value, left and right, we don't want to move. So we're going to put 0. For the y value, when we move up, we do want to move, we want to move up, so that's going to be positive 6. If we put, for example, negative 6, we would jump straight down. But we want to jump up. And then for z, again, we're going to have this at 0. We don't want to change it. We don't care about it. And then I'm going to put parentheses here and comma. We're going to put force mode 2D dot impulse. And what this is, it's just the type of force that you're going to use. And impulse means it puts all of this at once. So it doesn't gradually build up to it, it just puts it all at once. And then remember, we're going to end with a semicolon. So if I go ahead and hit Control S to save this, make sure this asterisk goes away. We're going to go back into Unity. I'm going to add one more thing before we start it. I'm going to click on my grass platform, and I'm going to press Control D for duplicate. Be careful, in a lot of other programs, Control D is delete, but in this one it's duplicate. And duplicate is going to copy everything the same. And now we have, over here, we have several keys up here. This one, the hand tool, is going to allow you to move the screen around. W is going to allow you to move the position. This little line right here is going to allow you to move the rotation, or the double arrows. And this scale button here is going to be the scale. It corresponds to the transform. So I'm going to hit Control Z, Control Z, Control Z to move everything back. And I'm going to click this. By the way, this is Q, W, E, R. So I'm going to press W, and I'm going to move our platform over here. I'm going to click here. I'm going to move this over here. So now our player can move left and right, and he can jump. And he can jump. And he can jump. And actually right now, you may have already noticed if you're playing your game, he can jump, 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 jump. We will fix that later. All right, so I'm going to hit Control and S because we changed some stuff. And I want to do one more thing here real quick. I want to take this grass platform, and I'm going to drag it right over into this prefabs folder. And I'm going to delete this other platform. So I'm going to click it. I'm going to hit Delete. Now I'm going to drag this platform, and I can drag as many platforms as I want into here. All right, and now I will see you in the next one.